Hey y'all, I'm Carolina Tony. Thank you for stopping by my channel. If you're here for the first time, be sure to go down below and click subscribe and click the bell so you won't miss a thing. Today the road brings us to Pawleys Island, South Carolina. We are in search of a grave of a young lady that died from a broken heart. Her name was Flagg, and we are going to tell you the legendary tale and search for her grave. But right after this station identification. The story of Flagg starts around 1849. She lived with her brother, Dr. Flagg, and her mother in a Merle's Inlet. They lived at a place called the Hermitage. The Hermitage is a seashore home that belonged to another family during the colonial period. But the mother and the brother became deeply involved in the life of the young girl. Well, she fell in love with a man believed to be beneath her social upbringing. To put it not so delicately, her family thought he was too poor for her. They say that Alice's mother told her, "You must leave your mark on this earth." And how could you possibly leave your mark on this earth if you attach yourself to such a common lumberman as this young man is? Alice's mother and brother did everything in their power to discourage the betrothal of their beloved Alice. How could such a common man be expected to live up to the expectations of such a prominent family? Alice wouldn't listen to her mother or her brother, and secretly she became engaged to this so-called commoner, a lumberman in fact. Upon finding out that she was engaged, her brother said there's no way that she could wear the ring. So Alice, perhaps just to keep down the fussing and fighting in the family, tied the ring in a ribbon around her neck. The legend says that once her brother, Dr. Flagg, discovered the ring around her neck, in a fit of rage, he tore it off and threw it into the saltwater marsh. It broke Alice's heart. But still, Alice wasn't going to allow just a ring to separate her from her true love. But somehow, no one knows for sure, Alice's mother and brother had concocted a scheme to get their daughter out of town. They sent her to Charleston to a boarding school, and Alice agreed to go. There are numerous stories as to what happened, but while in Charleston, Alice got sick. She didn't have the love of her life with her, and she was pining away. They say that she became so weak, perhaps from malaria. In those days, living in the low country was really hazardous to your health. But word got to her brother back in Merle's Inlet, and he came to her aid. So he took his carriage, and it took 4 days to get to Charleston. Alice's brother took his sister in his arms and put her in his carriage, and another 4 days back to Merle's Inlet to the Hermitage. The jostling from the ride was more than Alice could ever come back from. and she went into a coma and passed away. Now, don't hold me to it, but I believe this was the home of Alice Flagg. If it is, there's even legend that says that she wasn't buried in the All Saints Cemetery, that she was buried in the yard of this home, and that apparitions of her have been seen in this home. Again, there are numerous stories, as is this even the house. It's been bought by a developer and turned into a gated community, and it's called a Hermitage. But again, I'm not 100% sure. There's even legend that says that it would be impossible for Alice to have lived here because the house wasn't finished until after she died. And she was dressed in her favorite dress and brought here to All Saints Church. Alice's funeral was at the All Saints Church, and her body was laid to rest in the All Saints Parish Cemetery, right outside of the church. And she was laid to rest without a ring because her brother had thrown it away. Alice was laid to rest in the Flagg family plot. Here's Allard Beelan Flagg, M.D., 1820 to 1901. This would have been the brother that snatched the ring off of his sister's neck and threw it in the marsh. Joanna Flagg, perhaps Allard's daughter. And this is where Alice's body was laid to rest for all eternity, under a simple stone that just says Alice. Someone has left a flower. But if you'll notice, a ring of dirt around her grave. You may ask yourself, that's mighty strange, especially when you compare the other stones that are adjacent to it and grass all around the stones. There are a lot of people that say that Alice's specter or ghost can be seen in the front door of the Flagg home, the Hermitage, as she moves silently up the staircase to her bedroom. And others say that they can see her here in the graveyard. Whenever she appears, she always seems to be searching for something with her hand on her chest. Now, as the mystery of the dirt ring around her grave, people believe that if you bring gifts, will help calm the heartsick Alice down. And they say that if you start at the right bottom of her gravestone and walk around it 6 times counterclockwise and then 6 times clockwise, stopping at the letter A on her marker, you can place a token in recognition of on her resting place and make a wish. It'll be granted. And I better stop. I don't play with the spirits. So apparently, that's why the grass has been worn down, because people have left a gift, a flower and a penny, and have marched around this grave numerous times. Be real curious to find out, did they get their wish? Well, it's all just a legend. A little bit of truth mixed with a little bit of fiction. And who knows? It may all be true. It may not all be true. But still, makes a very interesting story. I hope you've enjoyed this story. If you did, be sure to give me a big old thumbs up. Be sure to tell your family and friends. But until next time, y'all have a good day.